You'll have to forgive me. I had plans to have one of those noise blowing things that people have at birthday parties. But then I was like, you know what? Let me spare them the embarrassment. Readers, this edition of Readus Relives is very special to me, and mostly it was due to an obstacle I thought that I was never going to overcome. If you've been keeping up with all these special occasion days going on nowadays, you'll know that October the 11th was National Coming Out Day. And if you recall, in my very first video, I let you know that I like both men and women. But yes, I like to figure that it's no secret that I'm bisexual. And as a belated celebration of National Coming Out Day, I would like to share my experience with you. And that experience was, mostly everybody but certain family members knew. Or figured it out by themselves. I honestly had nothing to worry about. Well, that's not the complete truth, but I'll get on that in a second. I realized I was different once puberty set in. One day I was watching a movie, a typical rated G movie, and certain feelings came up regarding certain aspects of the male sex that I would later on find out that I enjoyed. So I went through the phase of like, this is weird. Why do I like this? And of course, I was brought up in a religious household, more specifically because of my mother. My father wasn't really that big on religion. So of course, I got the whole, don't lay with someone of the same sex is an abomination unto God, blah 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 blah. And at a young age, that was definitely enough to fuck me up. So I did go through that period. It was like, oh shit. Man, I'm in quite a pickle right now. Long story short, I did my best to repress it. And that did a lot more damage than good. There were definitely moments growing up, due to a combination of other things along with repressing that aspect of my sexuality, that got me in trouble mentally and didn't really help my situation at all growing up. And not to sound like a cliche, but it wasn't until I attended college in which I started to gain an idea that liking what I like was okay. However, it did take me a while to get more comfortable with letting other people know. That's not to say that I didn't date or that I wasn't exploring, but I was very selective as to who knew that I was bi, because I knew that certain people who knew me would have a problem with it and certain people who knew me wouldn't. So in a way, I still put on a facade, but I was more accepting of this facade than before. That facade allowed me to be open with good friends who I knew wouldn't have a problem with it, allow me to be more open with friends that I would meet from then on about my sexuality. Then I met someone. I met someone very special. I spent a weekend with that person, and it was one of the best weekends of my life. What kept me from wanting to completely commit to a relationship with this person was because of the fact that, to a certain extent, I was closeted. And I felt horrible. I felt like I was being selfish. I was afraid that this person might thought that I was embarrassed to be with them. Found out later that I was, and I was completely paranoid about it, but we'll get to that later. I officially came out to everyone that I knew, mother and family included, 2 days before my 27th birthday. And the way that I did it, some would say would be the most painstakingly way possible, but it was just as simple as me sitting here talking to you. I recorded a video on my shitty ass laptop web camera and posted it on my Facebook. I tagged everyone in my immediate family and I let my friends watch it on their own accord. Some of them already guessed that I was bisexual and they were completely fine with it. Others had no clue but were still supportive. And nearly all of my immediate family was supportive and understanding. And I'll tell you one thing, when my birthday came around and I celebrated with my family, that was honestly the best birthday I have ever had in my adult life. For the first time in a long time, I felt absolutely free. I didn't have to operate under my bullshit ass rules I've established for myself. I'm making this video on this topic because there is a possibility that somebody will see this and wants to know how to handle this. So I'm going to give you some tips from my experience. And tip number 1 is do not feel rushed. If you want to come out on your own accord and on your own time. The reason why I came out the way I did was so that everybody could know firsthand. The only thing I can compare how I came out to is that last scene in 8 Mile when Bunny Rabbit was rapping his last rap, and he basically put all of his dirt out in his rap because he was going first, so that when his opponent went on, he didn't have any material to make fun of him. That's partially the reason why I did what I did. A lot of my family members were like, you could have came out a different way, but you chose to put all your business out there on the internet. Yes, I did. I did that for a reason. Do not feel like you have to beat somebody into coming out. Once I did, and once I put it all out there, and once I saw how people were and how they were so supportive and assuring, it made me think like, man, I could have felt like this a long time ago. But I wasn't ready back then. I was ready when I did it. I honestly wouldn't change a thing, honestly. It's all up to you. And if you have a network of people who know that you're closeted or are already supporting you, good on you. That's fucking dope. Shout outs to all the friends, to all the family members who have somebody who is still closeted, still worried about coming out, but are still supportive. Because y'all motherfuckers are the bomb. But yeah, no homework assignment for this video. If you feel like commenting, do it. If you don't, it's fine. I'm not pushing you to do anything. But this has been Readus 101. Class dismissed.